Hello, Shino. My name is Tara. I live in Edmonton, and I was pointed in your general direction through my group, the Alberta Hummingbird Project, for which I created because of the fact that what our government has been doing for several years in regards to disability and PDD or FSCD funding programs and cuts and changing things to such a degree that what he calls cutting the red tape makes things 10 times even harder for someone like me. I lived through the Klein days when programs and resources were shut down or closed due to changes in funding or people being denied as they are today. The problem is that I see that because of things being slashed and hacked at, disabilities and in particular autism, ADHD, or anything that is high functioning or invisible, um, get denied resources clearly on the bias that someone may not look or sound or act in such a way that society believes that they are, well, disabled. Um, as you can see, I have no aids. I have no problem with using a computer or sending a video. The problem that I do have is called autism and ADHD. And like anyone, I live and face the same realities as anyone else, but I also have a side to my autism that is not being addressed in the way that it needs to be. And so, this said, I created the Alberta Hummingbird Project because I would love to create a community that is self sustained. That way, if there's to be cuts, then, well, the government can go to hell. Anyway, yeah. Uh, when you have a community that is in partnership with, say, like a co op kind of setting, kind of like what Denmark's doing, where the co-op already has a food store and a gas station, so you have jobs. When you hire someone like me for these jobs, then you create an income. When you create an income, you pay the rent goes back into the community, and the cycle continues. There's always going to be a need for someone to clean empty apartments or clean the um, inside of the store, or do displays inside stores, set up the shelving units inside the stores, selling the stuff, as in the cashier, pumping the gas, or even doing the cashier at the gas station. If there's to be a restaurant, someone needs to clean it, do take the orders, and so on and so forth. Someone has to do the orders for these places and organize. Like there's things that can be done and still have an environment for which a vocation kind of setup could be done, such as, say, the vocation program practices that Peak does in Lethbridge, put into the community, and then also have a housing project that goes along with it. And co op has everything from the housing right on down to the gas station and grocery store. And then, well, maybe make a small partnership with restaurants like Tim Hortons. Everyone loves Tim Hortons. I know I do. Um, and create these jobs so that effective communication and socialization practices can be put into place. And instead of, well, forcing someone like me whose neurological condition may not develop in, say, the social norms of having uh, the soft skills and the diplomacy and the tact being shoved down their throat, why not just simply teach them how to communicate effectively so that they don't look like a fool or mm, for lack of better words, a rude person, as most neurotypicals would put it. And then on top of that, I don't know about you, but I have this huge thing where it would be cool if I had a mentoring kind of coach that did study in, say, the Bow Valley disability skills course, or say a community social worker that was trained in disabilities like mine. You see, what is here in Edmonton does not fit the criteria for someone with needs like mine. It What I came from in Lethbridge was all individualized services. They help people on those bases. But here in Edmonton, as much as I do have PDD, everyone is hell bent on a funnel system that doesn't work for someone like me. It does not cater to one's needs. It caters to a whole conglomerate of needs that doesn't even fit my own profile, let alone someone else's. And this is wrong because you end up in a classroom full of people that are, let's just say, have their own traits and their own abilities for which may not correlate with your own. And as much as they may have their own abilities, the fact is that they will never have the ability to leave a group home structure or their own family's home. Therefore, they will need aids in the HCA or more severe end of disability sense. And then there's people like me. And it is those people that I wish to target and bring into this community so that not only is it a safe place to live, but if they have a family, that family is being supported by workers that actually live there. That way we have workers 24/7 in the areas for which is needed through means of one-on-one training or help because of whatever situation a person may be in. And then there's the other aspect of not being forced into a classroom for which others may not have the ability to uh, communicate or understand in the same aspect as you do. As a matter of fact, I do side with high function invisible disability because that is what I have. I live with a husband. I'm married. I am I've got two cats. I am very independent. I don't have a guardian. I don't have a trustee. I don't have a, well, I do have a mom, but she has multiple sclerosis. My supports are my friends and my husband. Unfortunately, what is being expected of my friends and my husband should also be on a worker's caseload, not asking my husband to be the advocate or the support staff. A husband should be there on an emotional basis. He should be my best friend, not my worker. And that's exactly what's going on. I may have PDD, but the workers I get is a band aid fix. I get an HCA staff, which is not acceptable in my books. I should have a disability skills coach, someone who knows about this and what's going on with this. I don't know how many times I've had to tell people for the last 10 years that I've lived here of my needs. And it's like I'm speaking German. And it's angering. And then they give you the roundabout. Have you been here? Have you tried this? Have you done that? And then I get plain old everyday Joe Schmuck neurotypical stupid dumb uneducated fool that says, funny, you don't look autistic. I'm sorry, you are a liability because you don't have soft skills, tact, or diplomacy. Well, I'm 44 years old, for God's sake. People have tried to teach me these traits. But unfortunately, if 44 years of being told that I'm like this and have people try and teach me something that does not come natural and is not innate, stop trying to shove it down this old woman's throat because it's not going to happen. That's like asking a cripple who can't walk to begin with to get up and walk tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Instead, why not teach someone like me how to communicate effectively and socialize so that people and have the workers advocate to employers and Joe Schmuck neurotypical uneducated fool who knows nothing about disability that thinks disability should have a look, that not all disabilities are visible, and help employers realize that I am not a liability. I am an untapped resource for which could teach him a few tricks about my disability, just like he could teach me a few tricks about his employment practices. I don't qualify for AISH because my husband makes too much. And as it stands with the changes to PDD, here's the problem that I see. I have to go back for another assessment every year just to prove that I still need those services? How wrong is that? They hand my caseload to someone of um, accounting venue higher up in the government, higher than PDD, and all I become is a freaking number. I am not a number. You can see that I'm human. I am a woman who is 44 years old with the emotional diagnosis of that of a 16-year-old child. I see my world that way. I live my world that way. And I don't know how to be any other way. And I don't know of a 16-year-old child that has tact, diplomacy, or soft skills. The only soft skills you'll ever see on me is if you feed me cheesecake and watch my middle age spread. I am blunt by nature. I'm also funny. But at the same time, in the same token, what our government, the UCP, is doing is going to destroy so many lives and it's going to get worse. I wish to side with you as an ally and as a friend. I wish to not only um, rally at the PDD building, but I want to rally at our legislative assembly during the week when they are in session. And I don't care if it's minus 40 out there, I will freeze my little goddamn autistic tush off to get my point across. What our government has been doing for the last 20 years is beyond deplorable. I am angry. I am frustrated. I am appalled and embarrassed to be even considered a citizen of Alberta for so long as our government is a bunch of bullies when it comes to disability. Let us come together. Let us work together. Let us become a strong, united front and bring Alberta Hummingbird Project into the forefront and make it an umbrella for which brings all advocacies and all programs together into a community that both advocates and sets up a precedence. If Edmonton is supposed to be the capital, then let's make the program there